got a couple of peach trees here. The homeowner didn't give the trees the water that they needed last summer. It was a dry summer, and so there's a lot of dead. And so what we want to talk about today is how to identify a dead branch versus a living branch. And this whole tree is actually dead. And so we'll kind of go through a few of the signs that can tell us exactly why it's dead, or what tells me that it's not a living tree anymore. So right here, if we look down here at the bottom, the color of the bark is real gray, almost white. We have these deep cracks inside the wood, not just the bark. Sometimes bark will crack, but the tree will still be alive. What I'm seeing in here is real deep fissures inside of the wood itself. You can see a lot of peely, gray bark here. And then if we come up to the tips of the branches, or some of these smaller branches, again, gray, wrinkly, it's not smooth, it's real, see, it just looks like it's dried out. And then on the newest branches, again, wrinkly. Where the buds should be, there's just kind of a hole here. There's like a bud scar without any living bud, no swollen bud here, these little scars. The whole tree pretty much looks like that. We've got dried out, cracked, broken branches. So if we come over here to this peach tree and we look at the trunk, you can see a lot more coloration. Smooth. We don't have that gray. We don't have any cracks in the bark. We don't have any cracks in the wood. You do see these little rough spots, these lines here, the lenticels, which is how the tree breathes, the bark breathes. And then you see lines here in the bark, which is normal, but they're not cracks and broken. If we get higher in the branch, we've got smoother bark up here. Again, it's not dried out and wrinkly. It has some coloration to it. It's not gray or white. But then if we come over here, we do have some branches here that are smoother than the dead one, and it has some color, but you do see the bark is starting to get these little wrinkles in here. And so this might be this is on its way out for sure. So it's difficult to tell exactly when a branch is dying, but the thing I look for is these little wrinkles that are different than the natural bark texture. If I come up here to a small young branch, it's almost a red color. And then you could actually see at the node, you can actually see little buds forming. And it's smooth, it's flexible. When we go to the branches over here, are very brittle, break. And so the last thing that we want to look at is when we do a pruning cut, you will see that the wood is tan and the bark is brown. There's no sap running through, there's no sapwood. I grab a branch that's alive. You see that green right between the bark and the wood? That's how we can tell that the branch is still alive. It's green. And some people will actually even scratch the bark on the outside and try to get to that green color, and that's how they can tell that it's alive. It can be difficult to tell what's dead or alive sometimes on a fruit tree, but the more you practice and maybe take your time at the beginning, the more you'll feel comfortable recognizing what's dead and what's alive.